Look, the one on the left just fell over. Somebody help it up! Oh, well, it got it on its own. Sink or swim in this world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Subnautica Below Zero. The standalone expansion / sequel, sort of, I guess, to Subnautica. And I'll be honest, I wasn't going to do this one. Look, the ocean is a terrifying thing, even more so an alien one. Having to operate in this environment that is so unlike what the human body is designed to do, exploring places we were never meant to go, and encountering things we were never meant to encounter. Thalassophobia, submechanophobia, and just the fear of the dark all mixed together, well, it made for a really creepy and comfy experience. And I was always told that this one is a little less on the creepy end. And that's why I've avoided it for so long. I played like the first hour or two in my own time, but never really got into it. However, you guys loved the first playthrough so much that I knew that I had to come see what this was about at some point. This does take place on the same planet that we survived on, thrived on, and eventually escaped in the first game. But that's not to say things are going to be the same. As you can see, this takes place on one of the polar ice caps of this world, meaning there's going to be some overlap, but in a lot of ways, new species, new environments, and new challenges. And even for what I said earlier, some of you guys have said that it does not entirely do away with the creepy. So maybe this winter wonderland will catch me off guard yet. As before, there are numerous different experiences we can choose from, and as before, we are going to choose survival, which I suppose is kind of the default true experience. Survive alone on 4546B while investigating the death of your sister. So it seems like our reasons are a little bit more personal this time around.
This is the farthest I can take you on company space bucks, Robin. You sure you want this? The research is in everything.
It is to me, and Sam. I need to know what happened.
The meteor storm.
I can use it for cover from Altera's eyes.
Gonna miss you, Robin.
I'll find my way back.
Approaching 4546 speed. Surface temperatures. Drop pod deployed.
That must be the pod, the one that we saw detach. Well, this game didn't waste any time. Oh my god, it's still coming down. Ooh, we can grab things that fell from the wreck. A flare. That is not helping us. I see among our stats, there's now a new one, temperature. Can we warm ourselves by the fire? Oh, look at that! We actually can! Oh, that is so cool! That adds a whole new dimension to the survival element of this. Okay, I should pick up as much as I can, right? This was a much harder landing than our previous protagonist. And much more voiced as well. Maybe some opportunities for deeper storytelling there. Look at that. I shouldn't be sticking around.
That did not go as planned. I should find a way into the water and get to the drop pod.
Yeah, but look at this. These plants, like, open up and seemingly follow us. they actually give off heat. Look, you'll even raise your hands to warm them. There's always been something about Subnautica that I found so polished. Like, things just look and feel so good in terms of the art and gameplay merging. And it just feels so smooth, and this is already, like, a league ahead of that in that regard. But in survival games, that first day is always critical, so we should get moving. That flare stayed in our inventory. We didn't drop it, so we can scroll to it at any time. Huh. Alright, we're losing heat. We should get going. Oh! That didn't go as planned. Oh, and look at that. On our UI, it actually switches over to oxygen as the primary threat when we're in water. If we come to the surface, it'll switch to thermal. So, that seems a little odd. Like, freezing is less of an issue when we're underwater? You'd think it would be the exact opposite. But I suppose we're going to be spending a lot of time underwater. Look at that. We've got some familiar species. And I can hear the echoes of something perhaps larger. This pod doesn't bob on the surface like the old one. It actually establishes itself like a base with legs. This one's also got some solar panels built in. There we go. No need for an airlock.
Drop pod.
I want to offer my sincerest condolences on the passing of your sister. I got to know Sam better towards the end of my mandate with Altera on 4546B, when we were thrown together as basemates at Outpost Zero. She spoke often and fondly of you. I thought you should know, it didn't sit right with me when Altera blamed Sam's death on negligence. The Samantha Ayu I met was many things. Kind, clever, devoted to her work, but never negligent. I wish I could offer you something more substantial, but my access to information has been cut off. You may be in a better position to look into things than I am. If you're able to, Delta Station was our HQ. They were in a big hurry to leave, and there might still be information to be found there. It has a big radio tower, impossible to miss. I hope you find the answers you seek. Lillian Bench.
I don't know how long it's been since the first game, but it seems like this company came back to exploit this place. I mean, if we had to do this away from their prying eyes. Notice of death. Dear Miss Ayu, on behalf of Zeta Landon, 4546B Robotics Section Leader, and Indra Cormac, President of Altera Transgov, I regret to inform you of the death of Samantha Ayu. She died on planet 4546B, regrettably as a result of injuries sustained in an accident arising from her own negligence. Literally passing the blame in the condolence note. Please allow me to communicate the most profound condolences for the loss of your sister. While further details are unavailable at this time, you will receive contact from the Department of Insurance and Recuperation concerning your responsibilities as next of kin with regards to repayment of damages and legal fees. This whole thing's a giant middle finger. If you have any questions, you may file this form, and your query will be addressed in sequential order. Thanks a lot, guys.
Robin, guess what? I got the job. I'm going to 4546B. Now I'll be able to improve the mechanical avian amphibian under real-world stress conditions. Listen, I know your stance on Altera, but I just hope you're happy your sis is happy. I sure hope my sis is happy. I can't wait till we talk again. Oh, I wanted to ask you something. Can you watch my Augie while I'm away? I need someone I can trust to look after my best little potato. Potato? Listen, I tried, but that name is just not sticking. He's my little Oxtrabite. I'll leave the starchy tubers nicknames to you. Anyway, if you say yes, thanks, baby sis. Love you. 4546B to Robin. Come in, Robin. Remember when we used to play old-timey Space Explorer? This is kind of like that, but it's even harder to communicate. Well, let's see. I got your last message. Altera is not, as you put it, alterrorizing me. Things are going well. My project has a new name. Say goodbye to the mechanical avian amphibian, and hello to spy penguins. We're training the bots to mimic the creatures. Check out the photo. And I think I'm kinda seeing someone. I know it's not like me to just find a date, let alone on a mostly uninhabited water planet, but actually, you know what? Forget I said anything. Yeah, it's probably not even a real thing, but anyway, I'm sorry to hear XenoWorks might be strapped in the revenue department. Sounds like they still have you busy Xeno working, though. I know there's no way to guarantee an alien intelligence startup will succeed, but you've put so much into it. I hope they find a way to keep going. I know how much it means to you, getting to work at a small place where you have control over your research. All right, I gotta go. Later, baby sis. Love you. Hey, Robin. I got your Augie photo. Thanks so much for taking care of him, even though he's a cranky Hey! The nickname actually fits that way. A cranky potato. I know he can be a handful, but I really appreciate it. I'm a bit worried about my other baby, the mission. One of my penguins found something big. But Altera is just like, nothing to see here. Honestly, kinda glad you can't answer, so you can't, rub it in my face. Go ahead, bask in the fact that you were a little bit right about them. My project is on the line. My job, my safety. I heard about XenoWorks getting bought. I'm sorry. But at least you still have your job. Guess you're one of us now. Like it or not, welcome to the Altera family. I should probably go before I say something I regret. Love you. Keep your chin up. Eye on the alien prize.
But what is the alien prize? Amazing technology you're working on, presumably able to be among and study the wildlife directly. But Altera is just growing and growing, just kind of consuming all industries. And presumably they're doing it with whatever they're finding here.
Hey, Robin. I'm sorry my last message was so awful. I've been under a lot of stress. I'm not sure what's going on with anything. I can't really talk about it either. Oh, and I'm definitely not dating anyone on this water planet. Don't know what I was thinking there. Have I told you how cold it is here? Get this. I can't even get my wash and go dry before the wind freezes the moisturizer in my hair. Wild, right? Well, anyway, I'm sure you're mad at me after what I said, but I could really use a friend. You're my sister. I love you. I'm sorry.
I'm almost afraid of the last one.
Hey, Robin. I really need someone to know. I'm afraid something terrible is gonna happen. You were completely right about Altera, okay? You were right. I was wrong. The cat should be called Potato. I admit it. Sorry. Bad attempt at a joke. I don't know what to do. I guess I should just come out and say it at this point. I've said this much already. We found a frozen Leviathan that's infected with Kara. Altera thinks they can use it for something. Weapons, experimental treatments, a whole range of things. But one end of the range is ugly, dangerous, but profitable, of course. What if it gets out while we're messing around with it? Or worse, what if it ends up a bioweapon in the wrong hands? I hope I'm overreacting, but I don't think I am. Anyway, message me back, please. I could really use a friend. You're my sister. I love you.
I don't expect them to lay all that out right there in the beginning, but I guess that means there's even more levels to this that we still haven't discovered.
Well, Sam, I guess I might as well gather some tools and resources before starting my search. Hope that radio tower's as easy to spot as Lil said.
Okay, so we're on the hunt for a radio tower, but seems night has fallen in the time we've been listening. All that bioluminescence becomes so prominent out there, and us just sitting 9 meters below the surface in our comfy little safety bubble. And this is what I love about Subnautica. It's fulfilling the childhood fantasy of an underwater base, being able to customize it to our liking, being able to look out and... Yeah, shut up. Being able to peek through this little viewport at what should be such dangerous conditions, but we're dry and warm in here. There's something about the insulation from danger that I've always found so
Vital
comfy.
signs stabilizing.
But we really need more water. We're good on food for a while. Hopefully some of my first game knowledge will carry over. Let's see if any of these blueprints can help us out. First, let's just go through here. This is something I never did in the first game, which was clear these notifications. Already got these. Arctic Survival Almanac on arrival. We could read all that, but the basics are retreat to a safe environment, done. Administer first aid if required, no need. Retrieve emergency supplies if available, got some. Survey the environment for threats and resources, well, that's going to be a whole game thing. Find or construct a reliable habitat, yeah, we're going to need new accommodations sooner or later. Construct necessary survival equipment using the fabricator. Locate other survivors using line of sight or the radio. Maintain physical and psychological health until rescue. Now, as for the surface, adventurers exploring the surface in cold weather climates are advised to take additional precautions. High winds can result in rapid onset of hypothermia. Keep an eye out for natural shelter or restorative hot springs. If wearing a standard issue AEP suit, bodies of water may provide safety from extreme cold. I still don't understand how that helps. Unexpected detours occur. You never know how long you'll be away from base. Remember to pack a lunch. And a toasty hot beverage if possible. Learned that the hard way the first time around. And we can't say this enough. Layers. Investing in a quality cold suit is certain to pay dividends in warmth and safety. Remember, when in doubt, don't go out. This game is absolutely gorgeous looking. Look at that, these towers of ice, the snow constantly falling. I've got to say, in some ways, this is an improvement on the biome of the first game. Because there's actually things to see above water in most places. Hang on, gotta... Oh, the peeper managed to save itself. I was just coming up here to help you out. After all life on this planet owes a great debt to the peepers. But we need to start collecting resources so we can make some tools. Yes, thank you. That's quartz. Titanium, we are going to need lots of both. Now, actually, one thing that was a major driving force early on in the first game was the fact that we were in amid a massive crash site. There was titanium and debris everywhere. Here, we kind of are starting from scratch. It might be harder to get our bearings.
Oxygen.
Okay, we need to get to the surface quickly before we start to suffocate. Yep. There we are. Okay, first order of business is going to have to be an oxygen tank. Look at this. That doesn't just look like coral. Actually, it looks sort of like the WoW from Soma. But I'm just going to assume we're not going to have to deal with that down here. What are you, a ribbon plant?
Ribbon plants contain electrolytic materials that can be used in energy storage.
Ah, so you're kind of the new acid shrooms. Yeah, our oxygen levels are going to be extremely restrictive until we can get rid of that.
Oxygen.
Look at you, you're a new thing, or rather, you're what was on the menu. I mean the main menu, not I'm gonna eat you. Look at you, you're like penguin fish.
I was a little nervous about dropping into an unknown area, but luckily, this biome seems to have an abundance of minerals I can use for tools and upgrades. I didn't want another situation like Bazantos 5. When Xenoworks dropped me off, there were barely any resources. I survived off the land for 3 months with just a knife, my lucky PDA, and some rope. I am still kind of proud of that, though.
So you're not just some hapless castaway, you've been through something like this before. That's really neat because, you know, in the first game, we were a silent protagonist. There wasn't really much to us. We kind of projected onto that. I mean, even just look at our motivation here. Where in the first game, we were a voiceless protagonist left stranded on a planet they didn't understand. Here, we're a survivor. Someone who will go against company orders, knowing that something's wrong here, trying to investigate what happened to our sister, and willingly coming down here. In that way, we feel a lot more proactive. And it kind of makes us a bit more invested in our role in the story, rather than just as a vessel for, you know, being the player character.
Oxygen.
Yep. Just trying to snatch up as much as I can before I need more water. We can use copper and these ribbon plants to make more batteries, which we don't need right now, but we will soon. We need a scanner for sure.
All right, I have a scanner.
A scanner at
In
last.
goes a battery and titanium, out comes a scanner. Every xenobiologist's favorite tool. This planet has some fascinating flora and fauna, and I can't wait to learn about them. This will also give me access to a greater tool set. I'm assuming Altera left behind tech that I can scan for blueprints. That should make surviving and exploring out here a bit easier. Don't worry, Sam. I haven't forgotten I'm here for you. But it can't hurt to do a little research on the side, right? I know you would have done the same. I will find out what happened to you. I promise.
Well, let's get cataloging. A huge part of the appeal of these games is just learning more about the world around you. And it is necessary in gameplay to learn how we can use these things to enable our own survival and progression. But also, it's just cool. Like hoopfish. Small school mentality prey fish with a unique method of propulsion, and a distant relative of the bladderfish. Rather than swimming, this life form uses the fine green antenna which encircle its body to alter the composition of the water in front of it, allowing it to sail into the low-density space created. A lot of the time with these creatures, there's more than meets the eye to them. The purple and green coloration may be a camouflage adaptation for mid-range light wavelengths, possibly indicating the hoopfish is more active at dawn and dusk. While schools of hoopfish will form periodically and evade predators en masse, this behavior is more social than it is defensive, and lone hoopfish are often found hunting for food and displaying generally curious behavior. Assessment, edible. We'll keep that in mind, though I try to keep that stuff to a minimum. Now, Peeper, you guys are real important. Wait, I saw something else. Are you gonna let me catch you? No, of course not, and you're drawing me further and further away from our temporary shelter. Look at you guys, you hang around on these little ice floats. Penguin. Hang on, little guy. Hope the parents won't get too protective if I get close. Look at you. Young penguins tend to huddle on dry land awaiting their next meal. Consume almost exclusively fish regurgitated by the adults in the huddle. They stay to the center of the huddle to stay warm and out of the wind. If separated from the huddle, the adults will become agitated and begin searching for their young penguins. So please don't do this. Okay, I'll respect your culture. What about the adults? A penguin is a bird-like creature, hunts small fish below the water, and huddles in packs on the ice above. It consumes small prey fish and regurgitates them for its young. A retractable tail and claws allows for fast evasion of predators underwater and maximum grip on the ice. Sharp teeth concealed inside the beak can tear chunks out of aggressors and prey alike. So you guys do fight back. Like penguins, you've got some attitude. Huddles in packs on the surface for protection against the cold. Assessment: less cuddly than they look. But they're little babies. Look at them. Look, they're so cute with those like supervillain eyes.
Hypothermia imminent.
Nope, not if I have anything to say about it. Pink narrowleaf. This grass-like species grows in small clusters near coral bridges. Yeah, okay, no, I definitely saw it that time. It says Arctic peeper. Are you guys actually a different variant compared to the ones we knew towards the equator? We're gonna need to get a little faster, though, if we're to catch some of these things. A fast prey fish, camouflaged against the ice. Like the common peeper, it is fast and relatively intelligent, allowing it to survive in large numbers. Researcher notes: don't like the auto-generated name. Suggest Iceclops. This is why Altera can never be allowed even a shred of power on this planet. And here is where that fear of the unknown from the deep ocean comes from. We are in the shallows, relatively speaking, but I can still hear the echoes of something no doubt much larger out there somewhere. Here is the bladderfish. And you guys are most useful indeed, if I remember rightly. Let's just get some air. Hang on. This unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless, and bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. It's got a semi-permeable bladder, which it's able to use to filter filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulate caught on the way and adjust its buoyancy. It's got open-ended vascular tubing which can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity, guided propulsion. And it's largely oblivious to threats and practically immobile at night. Its only identified defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. It's edible, and oxygen may be retrieved from the bladder and added to tanks on consumption. I think I learned that during the playthrough of the first game, and I was surprised to find it then, too. But hopefully it won't come to that. I really don't enjoy killing the different animals in this game, even the predators. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's do some geology alongside our biology. Limestone. These unusual geological structures often form around titanium and copper deposits, and are distinct to this planet. Closer analysis reveals the stone around the metal has been hardened against erosion, but the mechanism remains unknown. Interesting.
Oxygen.
Okay, we are starting to run low on drinkable water, though. Have we got anything? We've got a little bit more, and a little bit more food, but it's not going to last us. For an oxygen tank, we need fiber mesh. To make fiber mesh, we need creepvine. Oh boy, am I even going to be able to find that stuff here? And we need a survival knife, which requires silicone rubber. Yeah, which requires creepvine seed clusters, so that's what we need. That's our first biggest thing.
Stabilizing.
And it is getting dark. I've wasted so much time geeking out, but that actually looks like what we're looking for already. So let's head over there. Before we get our hands on some fins and flippers, we're very, very slow. And very, very vulnerable. What was all that? Something really big and bright was just moving over there. Oh. Something we're gonna have to consider is we can't actually surface just anywhere. This is... oof. I got tangled in the creepvine for a second and scared myself. A kelp species concentrated in large forests and shallow, sandy waters. Loose roots anchor the plant to the seafloor from where it grows steadily toward the surface in pursuit of sunlight. The stem is fibrous and rich in iron, making it both a viable base material for fabrication of textiles as well as a basic foodstuff. It's considered a vital alien resource. Unfortunately, we can't harvest it until we have some of those seed clusters to make a knife. Or at least I think we need it. Maybe we just need more titanium.
New blueprint synthesized.
The point is, early on, we need as much scannable as possible. Come on. And heading back. Everything is done in these short, agonizing little trips, and that's what I love about an exploration game that doubles as a survival game.
Oxygen.
Because normally survival games tend to bore me. But in this case, the survival is more of a limiting mechanism that you have to adapt to overcome in order to go on these bigger and bigger trips. But you really do feel the difference once you can get there. It really requires a healthy dose of ingenuity, and you can get creative to kind of go beyond your means. But when night falls, it is certainly comfortable to be in here with the light on. Okay. We can now make lubricant and silicone rubber. So let's make a couple of these. Before we use up the rest, let's make sure we have the materials we need. We can make fins. We can make fins. We also need a knife. So let's focus on that first. There we go, our very first survival tool. Don't slice your finger off while you're at it. I saw that clipping that was happening. Now let's make the silicone rubber. And we do have even more. Get those fins. And just like that, our capabilities have improved immensely. Immensely. Because now we'll be 15% faster while swimming, which means our range has improved, which means we can dive deeper without running out of oxygen, and every little thing makes such a huge difference when it's your oxygen on the line. Speaking of, maybe we'll be able to build an oxygen line. I could also very much use a flashlight. So, do we have the means to get another battery? We need some more ribbon plants. Okay, let's make the glass. And let's... How's our inventory look right now? See, these seed clusters, they take up a lot of space. One thing that I really failed to do in the first game was take the time to sit around and really learn the world, to make a base instead of trying to rush the next objective all the time, and I suffered for it. It made rushing the next objectives difficult. So this time, we're gonna slow down our pace a little bit. Let's get a little bit of creep vine just to keep us going.
New blueprint synthesized. Oxygen.
I really should have gotten more, but that should on its own be enough for a standard O2 tank.
Adding additional blueprints to your databank.
Ooh, that's something. Air pumps. Now, I never used these before, but maybe we'll experiment now. Air pumps can be used to pipe breathable air to a remote location. I don't particularly feel like using the titanium on that right now, but I would like to experiment with it. I want to experiment with everything.
Can be upgraded for deluxe and VIP breathing.
VIP breathing, isn't that just Altera? But I imagine we can't do anything like that right now. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna leave you and do some boring research grabbing. Well, nothing's really boring right now, is it? I mean, after all, we still have the opportunity to see what's down in these lower levels just beneath us. Even in the shallows, the architecture of the seafloor can be fascinating. I love how you can kind of approach these games from a scientific perspective, where the learning is such a big part of it. Violet bow? What can we do with you? a common luminescent plant which grows in patches on the seabed, so probably not edible. We are going to need a food source pretty soon, and early on,
30 seconds of
it's
oxygen
likely to be
remaining.
the animals, sadly. But pretty soon we'll be able to move on from that. You know, when I was very young, I used to get the demo discs from official PlayStation Magazine that would have demos of all the upcoming PS2 games. And every few months they would be updated with a new menu background, but the coolest one they ever had was in like 2001 or 2, and the menus were through the perspective of a 3D mini submarine, and it was in an environment very much like this. Anytime you moved the menu, it would take you somewhere else, and it was so cool, and I always wanted a game like that. And Subnautica was that game. Sea glide fragment. Okay, now we're in business. So there are actually remnants of Altera materials scattered around. I don't think that's from our wreck, though. I think the idea is that there have been bases here before, roughly here anyway. Okay, well, if one spawned in this general area, yes, we know that we can find more. Bullseye shroom. Bullseye shrooms are harvestable fungi found growing near coral bridges. The mushrooms are noteworthy for their thick, meaty caps. These caps manage to produce a small amount of chlorophyll, which makes it capable of some photosynthesis. But the mushroom still gets most of its nutrients from dead matter on the seafloor. Harvestable and plantable. Alright, let's try and eat it. Food plus 8. These are actually not bad, and if we can get a grow bed going, they won't be a bad source of food. This is the value in the science. You poke around, you learn what does what, and you can kind of weigh those stats to optimize what you want to focus on. And so it's not just about nerding out. It all benefits you.
Oxygen.
Uh-oh. Is that hail? Little ice chunks raining from the sky? It doesn't seem to be hurting us. Ow. Maybe it's tapping off of our visor. Ah, there we go, that's what we need. We need more batteries. If we're going to be using electronic stuff, we need not only the equipment, but the replacements. The ribbon plant contains a highly concentrated sulfuric acid and can be harvested for use in battery fabrication. Sulfuric acid evolved as an evolutionary defense mechanism to discourage fauna from eating the leaves of the ribbon plant. When harvesting the plant, the core must not be compromised in order to avoid creating an exothermic chemical reaction. In other words, don't puncture the cells. There we go, a natural battery. And we can improve on it. Ooh.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Oxygen plant. We can replenish from it. Oh, but then it depletes and falls back in. I wonder if that's just temporary? You know what? Let's find out. Let's climb up to the surface for the maximum possible oxygen, right after we scan the WoW, and we'll see what's going on in that cave.
Seek fluid intake.
Whoa! What are you? Sea monkey. Okay, I'm gonna backpedal from you, but you're coming towards me. I don't know if I like that. Anytime I get close, you're coming back. What's your deal, buddy? Hey, whoa, what are we doing? Excuse me! No, hey!
The wildlife down here is
Get back
very
here!
Grabby.
Get back here, you jerk! I don't want to... No, give me that. Okay, we can just snatch it back from you. Look at you, you playful little nutjob! The look on their face, like, that is such good art direction, how you can look at a creature and kind of immediately know what they're about. Like I look at that little grin and it's like instant mischief. Your squeak even sounds a bit like a laugh, like a giggle. We are really low on water. Mischievous monkeys. If I didn't know better, I'd say they're after my supplies. Oh. Okay, we can eat these creepvine seeds, but it's not enough in the moment. Alright, we've got a couple of things to look at. A medium-sized and... Okay, wait. The sea monkey is a medium-sized and intelligent herbivore which shows great interest in other life forms and their possessions. More research is needed to understand this life form and its behavior. 2 finger-like appendages on each forearm are tipped with...
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
Oh no. Okay, we'll read the rest of this down below. But I really don't want to be inside for any length of time. How are you guys for water?
Creature discovered.
Well, not new. We had already scanned them. We can cook them or filter water from them, which is probably more in line with what we want to do. These games always make me really thirsty. But let's resume reading. 2 finger-like appendages on each forearm are tipped with suction pads for basic object manipulation. Its large turquoise crest is made of rigid bone. It's possibly used as a ram, although this has not been observed. Sea monkeys roam the ocean almost playfully, largely fearless of predators. Seen to form small nests where they hoard objects of interest for unknown purposes. Investigate with caution. Okay. You guys are definitely a treat. I can see why they named you after monkeys. Mature creepvine plants that have survived the predation of small herbivores produce these bioluminescent seed clusters, which may be knocked loose by currents or consumed and later deposited by predators. The embryo is surrounded by a thick oil and silicone layer, which would disperse into the ground as the other skin deteriorated. This may provide the seedling with the nutrients it needs to survive the low-light conditions on the seabed. Construction applications as well. But what I'm really interested in knowing about is the oxygen plant. The oxygen plant produces a harvestable reserve of oxygen in its bioluminescent floating bulb. It is hypothesized that this attracts territorial air-breathing fauna, forming a symbiotic relationship that protects the plant from herbivorous fish. Herbivorous? But it doesn't say if it replenishes, but it should, right? That makes sense. It brings in the creatures that survive off of oxygen, creating an environment that they can survive in. Alright, let's get back and try and find that cave again. But not before we scan the WoW. And for those of you who think that I'm reading too much, don't worry. I mean, this is a whole new world for us, and it's going to be a lot of learning early on. There will be more objective focus as we go. Coral bridges are formed by rapidly growing coral polyps that exhibit thigmotropism, which causes growth in response to stimuli or when touching a solid object. Coral bridges grow in thick, twisted patterns that anchor onto rocks or other coral. The underside is covered in colonies of blue barnacles. So it's actually 2 separate organisms. This weather has not let up. I guess it's fine that we're looking for a cave right now because we are not going to be able to see this radio tower on the surface. Now, how's about you? Quartz. A sea monkey nest we found where you live. Now, which means we should probably be wary, but we don't want to read this stuff while underwater. Argentite? I don't recognize this type of outcrop. A mineral deposit that often contains silver and titanium. Silver, 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 the first we found. Oh god, it's you guys.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Hang on, we can fix that. There we go, 50 seconds. Can we get a scan of you? Oh, this is foolish. Yep, we got you. Oh! That was not smart. We took a little bit of damage there, but now maybe we can... Oh, that's gonna be tough on the oxygen. I'm not gonna risk it. We've got a long way to go. We probably could have made it, but I don't want to risk it. Let's just do some reading while we're on the surface. And maybe make a health kit when we get back. Crashfish. This unusual species has developed an emergency defense mechanism based on mutually assured destruction.
Dangerous
forward
weather
mount-
approaching. Seek shelter.
Yeah. Forward-mounted eye enables the creature to identify and track potential predators. The sulfur plant has evolved to feed on sulfuric compounds secreted by the crashfish, which makes it nest within its leaves. Stronger, more protected plants provide superior nesting grounds, which in turn provide the plant with more nutrients from larger crashfish. As for its defense mechanism, concentrations of sulfur build up in the organism over time. If the crashfish collides with something at sufficient speed, the spikes on its torso are impacted, triggering an explosive chemical reaction. It recommends using a stasis rifle to grab them. We are shivering. I'm sorry I left you up there for so long, but now we can harvest the sulfur found in its nest. Or there is none. Okay, it doesn't always spawn. God, the sound of you shivering is actually uncomfortable. But I like that in games like this. I like it when you make the player, on a level beyond statistics, feel the weather and the atmosphere. We climb in here and we actually feel ourselves immediately warm up. Okay, what have we got? We can make another battery. That's the important thing. And now we should be able to build ourselves a flashlight, which was the next important thing. There we are. Sea monkey nests are large bowl-like structures made of packed sediment and plant matter. The sea monkeys use their wide, flat tails to pack the materials and form the structure of the nest. Sea monkeys are naturally curious creatures, often drawn to metallic materials which they gather to reinforce the sides of their nest. So they do have a use for gathering things, but some things they just kind of want to mess with. They're little tinkerers. Okay, our biggest priority, I think, is going to be finding that last Sea Glide piece and getting it built. Because until then, we really can't afford to spend so much time around here. Twisted Mandrake. The Twisted Mandrake grows in temperate coral zones. Its leafy canopy photosynthesizes sunlight while providing shade to the bulbous structure underneath. Exploring in the dark is a whole other thing, isn't it? Let's test out this flashlight. Look at the way the light kind of catches on everything in the water, all the sand and dust. Not to mention all these leaves just dancing in the light. I don't want to spend too much time on that, though. There's only so much battery. But look at me getting all distracted, practically suffocating myself in the process. Tell you what, let's get down low and see what a flare looks like. Ooh. That's another kind of cool. Providing light only to our immediate area, but certainly an atmospheric lighting. Ooh. It does burn out pretty quickly, though. Look at this. That's Altera stuff. Mobile vehicle bay fragment. Look at that. We could get the entire thing right here. And a PDA. Okay, I'm not reading that right now with 30 seconds of oxygen left, but I can get this. Oh, come on, that only counts as one?
Warning. 30
no,
seconds
we've got to.
of
Oh, we've got to get out of
remaining.
here. We've got to get out of here. Don't you even think about taking my stuff, you guys. You know, if they are indeed scavengers, it's possible that they've already done half the work for us. Look, there's another one of those fragments. Let's get that. Of course, grabbing everything we can along the way, going deeper into this little cave. kelp root. Contrary to its name, the visible aspect of the kelp root is a thick, twisted stem. The root system anchors deep into the rocky walls of the cave. Some kelp roots grow a pustule along that stem, which are formed by the plant slowly ejecting out toxic materials that are absorbed by the extensive root system. Pustules, so you may spawn usable
Warning.
materials.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah. Hey, there's something over there. Glowing lights and straight lines. That means people. That means human material. Well, I guess the penguins can have it in the meantime, since it serves them just as well. All right, let's climb on board and see what we're working with. I said climb on board. What is this? Mineral detector. Oh, we got it now. Hang on. Using a complex blend of electromagnetic field transmission and beta decay detection, the mineral detector is capable of identifying nearby resources and approximating distance. So it's a resource scanner. Anyway, let's get the rest of the desk. Let me get this stuff. Ooh. But we can get another flare. And another nutrient block. But sadly, no water. Some kind of research observation platform. Ooh. With a dive cage, almost like a shark cage in the center. And they've dropped a bunch of things below. That cable's still sparking in the water. Let's see what they dropped. Or maybe not dropped. Maybe this underwater area was meant as a platform. I guess a checkpoint on the way down to explore that cave, no doubt. Oh, this is so cool because, look, we were exploring the natural world and the precursors that came before us in the first game. With this, we're exploring the people that came before as well. And that should make certain things a bit easier to read. Beacon fragment. There we go. So now we can make beacons to determine where we are in the world. No matter where they are, getting a few of those out there will certainly help us with orienting ourselves. We could definitely use some more oxygen. Really, we need the Sea Glide because speed translates to more oxygen. Meanwhile, these guys are just diving around and flopping all over the place, taunting me. We can breathe for a long time underwater. What are you doing? Sea truck fragment. Sea truck? And we just get it. Is that like the sea moth? There's no time to read all this right now. But I feel like we're unlocking a lot of things really quickly. Come on, titanium. I need more. Galena outcrop. That's new as well.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Often has lead and titanium. Well, we don't have any lead yet, but we certainly need it. God, look at all this. Every time I stop grabbing stuff and actually look around, I'm just mesmerized by how pretty this game is. Scan that shelf coral. All this stuff, I'll probably just read it slowly over time.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Hey guys. Oh my god. I just saw you open your mouths. That is terrifying. I mean, no less adorable, but still terrifying. Oh, that may be our last Sea Glide fragment. There we go. Only thing is, we already had the ability to make the sea truck. Although maybe not. Maybe the sea glide is gonna have to come first, because we can't make the vehicle bay. I'm just gathering up all I can, and we actually have, yeah, we have kind of a lot. Wow. If we make ourselves some copper wire, we should already have the ability to make the mineral detector. There we go. There's us using our spare battery right away.
Sniff out raw materials, potentially saving you hundreds of hours of searching.
Don't I know it? I don't even want to know how much time I cut from the first one, but light stick, deployable lighting. We can actually place our own anywhere. We can make a beacon, or we're going to want one of those right away, actually. Just to point out the position of our new finds.
Territory. Show or hide the signals of your choice with your Xenoworks PDA.
Okay.
Now with surface support.
Cool, cool. But first we need the sea glide. For that we need lubricant and copper wire. When we scan something we already have, yes, as before, we will get titanium for it. But what we want is more of these things. Energy, energy, energy. That's the important thing. Can we scan something there? Hang on, oops. Redwort. A common plant, adaptable to many different environments. The redwort is a staple part of the diet of many smaller herbivores. Okay, I'm just trying to find out what I can eat myself, really. We now have the ability to produce the Sea Glide.
The Sea Glide is a personal transportation device used for high-speed freediving. Contains a built-in light and map.
Excellent. Our world just got a whole lot bigger. Look at that. Now, not only are we able to get a better idea for what we're doing, you know, awareness of the terrain, but we have a light at night at all times, so long as we have spare batteries. And we have more oxygen because we can move faster and farther. Now, the only issue is I'm not quite sure where that base was. But I'm sure if we poke around enough, it'll show itself. Or maybe not. Well, that seems like an interesting structure. And there it is. There's the platform. Yeah, when you approach from underneath, it becomes a lot more pronounced. And you know, I'm actually kinda curious for the moment, so I'm going to put you into slot 2. Each individual pipe takes up a slot. Let's place you here. And let's bring these down into this slot. And, ooh, we can drag these down to wherever. Within a certain range. Okay. And then down to, and down to there. Ah, we can even joint and angle you. At a certain point you'll stop. That's how we know that it's time to stop. These things are actually very cheap too. I think it's like 2 titanium per 5 rods. So here we are down at 50 meters. And we can just replenish from right there. You know, early game, that is actually quite useful. Because now we can come down here. That's really, really cool. Ooh, table coral. You're useful in electronics, aren't you? Each disc is an individual colony of microorganisms filtering nutrients from the water. Growth patterns indicate the colonies are in direct competition for positions with superior current or light. Unlike other coral species, its structure is malleable, softly pulsating as it pumps nutrients to its extremities, and only turning rigid when it senses physical assault. The jewel-like nodes in the surface are concentrated buildups of rare minerals the coral is unable to process. Exploitable in computer chip fabrication. Don't mind if I do. Only problem is they may not be renewable.
30 seconds of oxygen
Oh,
remaining.
am I out of oxygen? Well, here, let me just handle this little exploit right then. It's not the fastest thing, but if it's all you've got... Ooh. And it's somewhat dark in these caves, we can use the light of this thing to see where we're headed. And look, I've been playing for about an hour now. About half of that was reading. We've gotten ourselves into a much, much better position. The only thing is getting lost. Now, one of the most dangerous things with cave diving in real life, as it is here, is getting lost, becoming disoriented. So what I'm gonna do is use my first beacon and place it here beside the oxygen. There we are.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Platform. Okay. Now this serves to not only tell us the location of the end of this pipe, but also the location of that little platform as a landmark. And if I go a distance away, I can then turn around and that beacon displays on my HUD. What the heck was that? What the heck is that? Well, let's go say hi. And I hope there aren't others. Dude, look at that thing. It looks absolutely prehistoric. It's a carnivore. It's a carnivore. Cryptosuchus. Succus. Cryptosuchus. Ow! Oh my god, look at you in the... But you only seem interested in keeping me away, not coming back after me, so that's good news. Alright, can't wait to limp back to base and read about you. Hang on, guys. Do you want me to tell you a scary story? Oh. And the Sea Glide loses its mapping ability when we come on land. Signal lost its... Oh, what do I smell or something? Anyway, I've got something to read. You're the first big carnivore we've encountered. The Cryptosuchus is a large shark-like beast, easily identifiable by its carapace of thin, bony plates. These plates are defensive bony structures that aid in heat absorption among thermal vents. So you like to hang out down deep. It propels itself with wide-webbed flippers that displace massive amounts of water. The Cryptosuchus is a bit of a contradictory creature. Despite its fearsome appearance, it is more roar than bite. While territorial, the Cryptosuchus tends to retreat from confrontation after being attacked once. This is likely a form of agnostic posturing. Aggressive fauna tend to avoid fights if the probability of injury is too high. Avoid, but can be handled in a pinch. It looks like this fearsome predator, but it's much more manageable than that. Okay, we need water. We need water, and we need it soon. You'll do. When we hold them like this, I feel so bad. Look at this. Not only is there more going on above the surface, but there's actual weather, too. Atmospherics are a huge part of Subnautica, and in that way, at least, it is improved. Once again, I know a lot of people don't like this as much as the first one. And I don't know if it's just because it's not as expansive, or because it's not as scary, or it has a slightly narrower focus, but I have to say, for what it is, I am really...
Signature detected. Unique identifier. Delta Station Dock.
Delta Station. This is the place Lil mentioned in her message.
I'm really enjoying it so far. Delta Station. Okay, we've got it. Well, our next destination has been decided for us, but we may as well explore along the surface as we do so. Hang on, wait. Let's reacquire our flashlight. Arctic Ray, you're cool looking. A fast-moving ray species well adapted to low-temperature environments. 2 sets of wing-like fins enable this ray to quickly change direction and accelerate. Like other rays, it is exclusively herbivorous. Assessment: harmless. Well, that's good to know. I feel like there's a continuum to every new discovery. The first thing you have to think is it dangerous? The second thing, can I eat it? The third thing, can I build stuff with it? You're none of those things, but the fourth thing is it cool? And that's kind of the free space on the bingo card. Is this a different kind of coral? Can we use it? No. Look at you.
That sounds like a distress call.
Transmission of unknown origin. Source of transmission depth calculated at approximately 200 meters.
Alright, we need to keep away from your mouth. Was that Morse code? And other question, was it coming through our headset, or was it actually being transmitted like through the water? Is that how it was being propagated? And will you follow me to the surface? No? I mean, those things are up there, but they should leave me alone. As long as I leave them alone. Okay, what were you? Brute shark? A common shark-like predator with low intelligence. It looks like a Kingdom Hearts enemy. Its relatively streamlined body enables fast navigation of tight spaces. Could they maybe be found in caves? Yellow and turquoise coloration provides camouflage in shallow waters. It is slow-moving and ambushes small fish from above. Considered a minor threat, even though it could swallow me whole. Oh, these are thermal vents. This is very close to the surface. Hydrothermal spire. Yeah, you guys love these things, don't you? These chimney-shaped structures are formed from dissolved minerals pushed upwards through the planet's crust. The presence of metal sulfides gives the escaping material its dark, opaque appearance. Aquatic life found in proximity may have evolved adaptations to the presence of these toxic compounds. Long-term exposure to geothermal emissions may pose a risk to human health. Well, we'll be in and out of this planet in no time, no worries. Trinity barnacle. Trinity barnacles can be found near sea vents and geothermal hotspots, often in clusters. They feature a thick capitulum, shell casing, that allows them to survive in very warm water temperatures. Mature barnacles develop a triad of ocelli, which are rudimentary photoreceptors. Interesting, but probably not useful. And a whole lot of heat periodically escapes from that trench. Delta Station dock. These barnacles look like little nests containing eggs, don't they? Look at that, it's a whole facility! Okay, let's crawl ashore then. Oh, and we can even climb the sides. We don't need a ladder. Huh, I wonder if we can build this stuff ourselves? Have our own little land base? Hang on, there's something in the water there. Sea truck fragment. 2 out of 3. And we know now that more can be found along here. I did see that flares give us a 10% resistance to the cold. Hopefully we won't have to rely on that. Water.
Calorie intake recommended.
Yeah. I'm just shopping for materials for when we build our base, inevitably. A coffee vending machine. You can't just live, you have to have comforts. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we can grab some coffee. And there's our beacon left up on a pole. We can take it for ourselves, but why would we want to?
This is a recorded message. If you can hear this, you're trespassing. If you know what's good for you, you'll get the hell out of here.
But what if I don't?
Vital signs stabilizing.
I don't really have anything that can be used as a weapon. Look at this. Is this one of those hot springs it was talking about? Yes! Oh, look at that! A nice relaxing hot tub dip! I love it. I love how this planet has such a hostile environment, but it's got so many things within it to help you that you're always just kind of moving from danger to safety, and it makes the safety feel so much sweeter. It is the comfy end of creepy and comfy, truly. I think the game's crashing. Cool. You know, thankfully, I only had to come back a few minutes, but I am actually astonished to see that this is still a thing. There is no auto-saving. So, luckily, it was only a couple minutes back, but I can't believe that you not only have this problem in the original, but in the sequel as well. Like, every other game ever made has some form of auto-saving alongside its manual, and here we are. Blue scrub brush. The blue scrub brush is an unusual plant for this climate. Unlike other plants that manage to thrive in extreme cold, which typically grow close to the ground and lack leaves to prevent moisture loss, the blue scrub brush is tall with a fur-like leaf. Within the hollow leaves are chambered pores, which capture and store the sun's heat. Now, I'm really curious to know, yes, even independent of these plants, or I suppose because of these plants, being in the cave and out of the wind actually does improve our thermal properties. In other words, caves are life. And now we have a scanner to learn more about you. The thermal lily is an unusual terrestrial plant, typically found on cliff walls. During the day, it points its face towards the sun, absorbing thermal radiation and storing it internally. At night, the thermal lily's petals close to reduce heat loss, and it relies on its heat stores to survive the harsh Arctic conditions. And you're willing to share with us, so that's nice. But I've just realized I never did have a look at the found PDA. Altera misplaces 1 kilometer capital ship Aurora. Contact has been lost with the Aurora some 18 months into its journey to install a phase gate in the Ariadne Arm, report inside sources. Altera launched the Aurora to much fanfare almost 2 years ago, and recently announced the ship had arrived in the destination solar system. The Aurora has reportedly now missed more than one routine check-in. Asked for comment, a spokesperson for Altera said, "Communication with ships outside of the phase gate network can take weeks or months in ordinary circumstances, and is commonly interrupted. The Aurora was in good shape and ahead of schedule the last time they checked in. We have no reason to think anything has changed." Nonetheless, our sources emphasize that Altera cannot yet explain the loss of contact, and given the exceptional value of the ship and its mission, they are taking every possible measure to re-establish contact. Shareholders will be watching closely. How about family members? Keen readers will remember, however, that Altera's network of directors have a history of leaking scare stories like this to the press, only for the Transgov to rebound with positive news against the odds. Directors' shareholdings and dealings are, of course, not public information. Corruption within corruption. Well, I guess we're making our way to the tower. Either no one's here or someone is. Either way, it's good news for us, right? Look at this. Poles set up like at an Antarctic base. I guess in the middle of the night in a blinding snowstorm you could feel your way along these lines. That's really cool. I wonder if we'll have any use for something like that. Horseshoe shrub. I really want to learn about plants early on, because once we start, well, farming, we'll need to know what's good. The horseshoe shrub is a terrestrial plant that thrives in warm conditions. Visual identification is easy due to the thick crown of leaves on its bifurcated trunk. The trunk has a thick, fibrous core that stores water for its fruiting body. The fruit can be harvested and planted, and could be a sustainable food source. Wait, what? Oh, we pick you off directly. Let's see what those stats are like. Oh, wow, it even heals! That is almost overpowered. If we can get this stuff going, yes, yes, yes. Shrub nuts, they're delicious. Not to be confused with truck nuts. Honeycomb fungus. This hardy fungus erupts through the thick ice shelf. It sends a collection of hyphae filaments that collect nutrients and moisture deep into the ice shelf until it hits permafrost. From there, the hyphae intertwine into a thick, root-like system called mycelia cords. These mycelium efficiently pull nutrients from the soil. I just think it's so cool how much thought they put into this world, how everything benefits something else. I just love that heat from you. Like warming your hands by a fire. Or an electric stove! Ow! You are hot to the touch. Ooh, and so is this room. This place is very geothermally active. Crystalline sulfur. Some kind of study sample? Sulfur is a highly reactive, non-metallic element usually found in abundance underground. Common applications include production of acidic compounds and combustibles. Alright, I'll take some. Thank you. Don't really need all this. Could use more of that. Emmanuel's special request. Emmanuel gave me this jailbroken scanner tool thing and said, I need more shower heads. This should lead you to the necessary materials, or minerals. What? He also told me to keep it on the down low. Wait, so Altera actually we knew this. We knew from the first game that the fabricator is locked to not allow weapons. Well, I guess the scanner is locked as well. I guess this is what a master's certificate in applied geology gets you these days. The job as a glorified construction worker. I should have studied interstellar law like Dad said. I have to hand it to Emmanuel, though. I don't know what he did to the scanner, but it does a great job at zeroing in on specific minerals. It's better than hoping I stumble across the right outcroppings. The detector is a jailbroken scanner. That is so cool. But we've already got one. Through here should probably do it. Ooh, and we can get more sulfur. We'll want to stock up on as much as we can, because who knows when the next time we'll be out this way is. Oh no.
Stop right there, Altera. You're out of bounds.
I'm not with Altera.
Then your position is doubly precarious.
What do you mean?
If you're telling the truth, you're out of your mind. If you're lying, there'll be hell to pay.
Wait! Who are you?
Stay off my land.
That was like some kind of modified predator prawn. Also, that's the first time we've seen another person.
The woman in the exosuit has been traced as far as my technology will allow.
It would appear I'm far less alone on this planet than I had anticipated.
Yeah, you and me both.
Location uploaded to PDA.
She managed to clear half a kilometer in like a few seconds in that thing. And it wasn't just titanium materials. It looked like it was using bone fragments, stuff that had been filed down. In other words, she's had plenty of time to think about this. But the station itself is snowed in. Oh, you guys are back. Wait, hang on. No, get over here. I want to scan you. You're cute. A builder fragment. Maybe installed in any blah blah blah. You get the idea. We can put in plants and animals for power. Oh no, we need to get back downstairs quickly. The sun is setting, and that means we're gonna get colder quicker. In we go. Look, I notice we even seem to replenish more rapidly the further in we get. I am enjoying the heck out of this game, but it does seem to be a bit less subtle in its narrative focus. But I guess I shouldn't judge it too much too early. In the meantime, I want to get inside this base and see what happened here. And hopefully not encounter the thing along the way. Although it would be cool to scan it. Scanner room?
New PDA data.
Wait, pick up snow. Snowball! We can pick up a snowball and just throw it. How? That is adorable. I love it when a game isn't afraid to just have fun. To say, this is here, it doesn't need to serve a gameplay function. Just go wild, we're here, man. But lots of scannables to get. I will say, maybe it's moving a little too fast. I mean, we are getting a lot really quickly. Multi-purpose room. I guess in here is warm enough. It certainly doesn't look like it, especially with that big broken open window. Jukebox fragment? Can we get some tunes in our base?
Seek fluid intake.
A locker, which we cannot seem to open. And a fabricator, which we can't seem to... Altera facilities map. Yeah, no, they're just like giving us a lot. So Delta, that's probably us right there. Kind of giving us the keys to the city.
I should be able to find my way to Phi Robotics where Sam worked.
Heading over to Phi, huh? You just can't resist giving me those Soma flashbacks. Ooh, we got a large filtered water. How much does that give us? 50. Great. Now excuse me while I use this place as my personal IKEA catalog. A nutrient block. Thank you for dying with stuff left behind. That's extremely useful to me. And we're doing all of this in the dark. But hey, at least we won't have to wait when it comes time to build our dream home, right? We can start playing The Sims immediately.
For the last time, I'm not cheating.
Then what's your theory? What's going on?
If you ask me, Zeta's been blinking a lot. I think it's a tell.
He does have a point there.
It's allergies.
Allergies? Oh, is something in bloom in this frozen sector?
Thermal lilies. And if you gang up on me, I swear you're all fired.
You're not even my boss.
Oh, you're all so gullible. You're fighting each other. Meanwhile, look at Parvin. Just look at him.
What am I doing? I'm not doing anything.
Let's just take this to a vote. All those who think Zeta's allergies are a bad case of alienitis, say intruder.
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 Intruder. Danny?
Oh, I'm just an observer here.
I'm going to use my pass.
Is there some kind of scientist conspiracy going on here? Zeta, Sam, Danielle? You three are suddenly very aligned.
Or, like I said, Parvin is cheating.
I'm starting to wish I was cheating.
She was here. She was here, and God, that mundane conversation. I can't believe all of this is happening on the same planet we were stranded on in the first one. And now it's all in the past. But what did happen to them? Why would Altera just abandon all of this?
Vital signs stabilizing.
And more importantly, how could this happen with Ron Swanson on the team? Fred's bed. Wait, so if we use this blueprint to build something, does that mean that that will also be Fred's bed? Framed picture of a penguin and a shaving kit. Maybe we can do something with it?
Jenny, you wouldn't believe the adventure I'm having. It's just like when we were kids and we used to play Underwater City, only sea monsters aren't pretend, and I don't need to hide behind you when one swims by, because I'm safe in my sea truck. Safe and very, very brave. Please tell Dad for me. Thanks so much for the mustache kit, by the way. To be honest, I wasn't sure if it was a gag gift at first. Personal grooming is something of a challenge here, and as you know, I'm a pretty low-maintenance guy to begin with, but you'd be surprised how handy mustache wax is in an emergency. There have been some close scrapes. For a while there, someone was sabotaging my truck, and I thought I was seeing things. But my friend Sam helped me sort it out, although she's had some troubles of her own lately. To be honest, I get a little worried out here sometimes, but I guess that's normal under the circumstances. Gotta expect a little risk, right? I should be happy. I have great friends and a good paycheck. Anyway, love you, Jenny, and Dad. Please find a way to tell him that he won't find embarrassing. And don't worry, I'm looking for the perfect fish to bring back as a gift. Your favorite.
I can't help but be reminded of when we used to play old-timey space explorers with our sister. Goes to show that we're not the only ones who lost something here. Damaged modification station. If we can get ourselves one of these early on. Jeremiah's bed. Yeah, no, they're all different. Well, I suppose it's a different design. Right?
Communications tower maintenance log. Another day, another slight by the winged furies.
Why are you smiling like that?
As usual, I got an interference alert. As usual, I went out to see what the problem was. As usual, it was frozen stalagmites of feathered bird excrement. I fear the career impact of saying this officially, if you can even call what I have a career. But I could swear they're targeting me personally. The week I was out with the flu, I came back to find the tower spotless. Parvin laughed at me when I asked him how he cleaned it. Silly me. As if Parvin would ever clean anything. There's nothing left for me to do but quit. But I know that's what the birds want me to do. Oh, and I got the tower up and running. Maintenance complete.
Hopefully that means we'll find it working then. Look at that, we can take these posters, and quite a cool one at that. Although I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to be back here. In the meantime, we should probably get this done. We've got to make our way up there. It is wild to see something like this, something this huge, just here and spinning and working. There's a control panel right here, but we can climb it. Maybe something will have to be repaired. Test override module port. Something will. Operating manual. New employee training. It is recommended that all training be completed while tower is in test mode. Test mode is a fully functional, simulated version of live mode. While in test mode, all communication from the tower, including distress signals, security alerts, and spy transmissions, will be disabled. To initiate test mode, insert the test override module into the diagnostic port, as depicted in the diagram to the left. The activate test mode command may be entered via the terminal once the test override module has been inserted. But it's missing. So we've got to find it someplace?
Hypothermia imminent.
Yeah, I know. Wow, we do not last long out here. But there's... Oh, we can't hop over that railing, really? There's one of those plants over here. Thank you very much. And let's see what we can do. Surveillance status report. Sector 0 region scan. 2 active human life forms detected. Unauthorized habit construction and vehicular activity detected. Recommendation: observe and prepare for possible intervention. So presumably that's us and her, right? I don't know if chasing her would be the right move right now. But there is more that we can do here.
Tower maintenance log. Okay, this time the birds have really done it. I don't know what they've been eating, but it's corrosive when it comes out the other end. I'm gonna need to rewire. I'm short an element to fabricate the right cable. I remember seeing some when I did that dive to the old ship. I'm gonna go out there and see if I can get some more. That should fix it. Maintenance status in progress.
The old ship. There's something big underwater. The question is, did you leave a marker to where it is? No, but we do have your last known. I was hoping to just dive off the edge, but that's not going to happen in this moment. But not before we see what's in the other building. He talked about being safe in his sea truck. I want to be safe in a sea truck. So that became a very big priority.
Cushy setup. Must belong to one of those higher-uppers.
Emmanuel's bed. Soon to be Robin's bed. You even got an executive desk. Somebody needs something from you, they can come in and visit you right in your office/bedroom. We can even get ourselves a nameplate. Oh, we don't get a nameplate, we get your profile. Human Resources and Communications Liaison. Look at that, it's like some kind of high-tech Newton's cradle. Alright, settle down. It's called Executive Toy.
Good morning, Frostpack. Just a quick update to inform you of some key achievements and priority shifts we need you all to get behind. The Spy Pangling project was a resounding success. Please join me in congratulating Samantha IU, who is now reassigned to Outpost Zero, helping us dream of future initiatives. Congratulations are also in order for Danielle Valenti and her team at Omega Lab. The closing of Phi Robotics means important funds can be redirected to their Kara bacteria study, which has important, positive implications for the life sciences. You're all doing an exceptional job, and I don't want to promise anything, but HQ has been taking notice. Keep up the good work. And I think we can start discussing bonuses soon.
Sam really got under management's skin. I didn't know she had it in her.
This guy just oozes sliminess. Planters and pots. Planters and pots. And an aquarium. I don't know if that counts as a grow bed, though. But we'll want to get agriculture going as soon as possible. Ooh, an observatory. Your office is in your bedroom, but you can have your own observatory. Look, we can see the shadows of these guys flying over. This would actually be a perfect time to get out and scan you, but it doesn't look like we can quite make it. Look at that, your meal still set out. You didn't intend to leave, did you?
David, you'll be happy to know the Frost Pack is making excellent progress. I must say, my management style appears to be uniquely well suited to isolated planets. I miss you, of course, but I wonder if you feel it too. As great as we are together, we're almost better apart. Just look at how well Prosperina did in her last show. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to see it, but I'm sure if I'd been around, I'd only have made her nervous. Once this mission is over, I'll come home for a few good months. And then, what do you think if we look at reorganizing our expectations to facilitate longer-term separation success? I really think this could be a great model for us going forward, romantically and otherwise. Don't forget, I love you from the depths of my heart. Keep on succeeding in your projects. You know there's nothing I find more attractive.
Jesus Christ. You literally just use corporate speak to explain why you're happier away from your husband or boyfriend? That was the most viscerally repulsive thing I've ever heard. And I've heard some things. And the tone as you're explaining this, I've got to wonder, did they have the same reaction, or are you two made for each other? I don't want to think about there being two of you. Also, I guess you have a kid, Prosperina? Yeah, that sounds like you. Okay, I'm not even sure what to do first now. I think I'll probably just explore the seafloor around this island. We are almost out of time for this part, so I'm not going to pursue her last known. But I think down here we can find some of what they were working on. Some argentite. Okay, we don't really need to be filling up on materials right now. We need to be filling up our mind. And our craftables. There's another sea truck fragment. 2 out of 3. Just one more should do it. While still keeping an eye on our oxygen. Ooh. Okay. Gotta remember, very geothermally active. Whee! Ah, there's another of what we're looking for. There we go. And now we have the ability to make a power cell.
New technology acquired.
And the depth upgrade Mark 1. Okay. We are progressing at breakneck speed compared to the original. And I don't know if that's because there's more to do, or if because it's just shorter in general. Radiant sieve coral. This light-emitting plant is reminiscent of a sieve or a colander.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah. Let's see how deep we can go. This is kind of our first opportunity to really do so. There are other fragments here, but they're all for the sea truck, and I don't need more right now. Deeper water, deeper problems, right? I need more mobile vehicle bay fragments. That's what's really needed.
Warning. Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
Oh, is that the first time we've been this deep? Wow. I could definitely use more of those pipes right now. Alright, back to the surface. We can't rely on our O2 counter then. I think that means below 100 until we get a rebreather. It'll tick down faster, right? Ooh, what is this stuff? Crescent moon coral. Crescent moon coral prefers to grow vertically, similar to a vine, The branching filaments connecting the crescent to the red stem contain tiny flagellum that pull in various microorganisms for nourishment. We may be able to grab from an oxygen plant here, but will we be able to make it back up is the question. Oh wow, I am really not a fan of this. There's another oxygen plant right there, but we are very, very deep. There's something there, and there are more oxygen plants. At least this place is generous with them.
Warning,
Mobile vehicle.
passing
More
200
can be
meters.
found here.
Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
Wait, so does that mean... Does that mean we've got it? Or are we just starting new? I don't remember if the other one was before the save or not. There's a PDA down there.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
And there's something glowing over there. Oh, no. On 50 seconds, no. It's just not gonna happen. But that is not... We gotta keep going, but that is not human in origin.
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Oh, we gotta go. We have got to go. That was so close. I don't think we can explore that deeply, not reliably. Wait, are those two PDAs down there?
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
More from you. Disciplinary meeting, personal favors. Well, we can't listen to these things down here. We're gonna need a new battery for this sea truck soon.
Fred, great to see you. Come on in. You don't mind if I record this, do you?
Am I in trouble?
No. You know me. Just a fanatic for details. And my memory's not what it used to be.
I know what that's like.
Yes. Is that why you've been running so many personal errands for your colleagues? We asked you to limit them.
So I am in trouble.
That's not how I want you to look at it. Here's what I see. You're a team player. You want to get the job done.
I think I have a pretty good record there.
You want people to like you.
Has anyone complained?
Fred, the trouble is, not everyone is as reliable as you are. Sometimes people need help being where they need to be and concentrating on their work.
All the trips were work-related.
It appears you transported tech for Lil, rather far out from her base.
Well, it needed to go deep, and she needed a sea truck.
Her work is currently on surface installations. She shouldn't be anywhere near the water. No more favors to friends, agreed?
Yes, sir.
I keep telling you. Call me Manu.
So hateable, it's unbelievable. Wow, sunrise almost looks apocalyptic. But nevertheless gorgeous and, in a way, calming when you see that the penguins don't seem to be panicking. I'm actually really fascinated by the little base we found down there. There's just so much. I feel like there was so much open ocean in the first game, but I'm just tripping over things everywhere I go, to the point where I'm having to slow myself down.
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
Sea Truck Log 3.
The damn ugly thing followed me into the shallows. Didn't think something that big would follow me up here. Had to jettison the sea truck. Again. I guess I could try to go back for the parts when it leaves. If it leaves. I really don't want to sit in another meeting with Emmanuel. Manu, as he likes to be called. I just want to drive around and deliver cargo in peace.
Okay, we need water, so I think we're done here. But we will certainly keep this in mind. So all was not well here. Shady moves being made by shady people that are basically androids for how inhuman they come across. But a very human crew, not unlike our sister, it seems like. I guess this installation tells of a number of tragedies, and we do have a witness, someone who was here, if we can only catch up to her.
Supply cache nearby.
See what I mean? Always tripping over something.
Picked up what sounds like a distress call. Who or what is out here calling for help? It didn't sound human. Maybe it's from a remnant of architect technology. In her message, Sam's colleague did say there was something important here. Even if it's just a mimic from one of the more intelligent aquatic specimens, that could be a major find. Or if it's from Altera, it could have bearing on what happened to Sam. I should definitely check it out.
You're talking about what we received earlier. There's just so many things out there. And in order to explore all of that to the best, we need to move beyond our limitations and get that sea truck. There's our first power cell, which we can use once we get it. We just need to put all these materials that won't be useful until later away. But man, it was like in the first game, I was moving agonizingly slowly, and here it's at such breakneck pace that I feel like I can't keep up. Here we are, actually not too far from where we started. Is there anything in this strange little place? The builder fragment, which we've already got.
Warning.
We don't want to stay here too long.
Oxygen remaining.
We did get a blueprint for a higher capacity O2 tank. Yep. It really is like going into the light when you're ascending quickly, right?
Oxygen.
Yep, don't worry about the bends, not a factor in this world. There's even something else over there. I think these alien structures are going to lead us to something huge. I think a lot of this is going to lead us to something huge.
Remaining.
That. We're gonna need to strategize with these oxygen plants. Yep, that looks like some sort of entrance. It has to be. But in the meantime, we need to get ourselves to the surface. Look, they've got all these work platforms down here. Rebreather, yes. We may not have the means to explore down here, but we have the means to develop the means. And that's what progression in survival is all about, isn't it?
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
We have the map, we have the blueprints, we have the means. Next time we're gonna build ourselves the sea truck, and from there, the sky's the limit. Maybe we'll even already start making our own base closer to where we're going to be exploring from. But all that will have to wait until next time. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.